So let's be real here. We all love My Hero Academia. From its unique story, its colourful cast of characters, its beautiful art style, its powerful messages, and its music. Oh god, it's music! Yûki Hayashi, you beautiful bastard! My Hero Academia is beautiful. Every time I sit down to watch an episode, I immediately become engrossed in its universe and want to watch the entire series all over again. The story of this series is literally my biggest fantasy come to life. It's like Kōhei Horikoshi flew into my dreams and handpicked all of my favourite things and then just mashed them together into the most glorious cake anyone has ever seen. Perfection. But within this cake, there's a special secret ingredient that no one expected, but it just wouldn't be the same without it. And that ingredient is the character Katsuki Bakugo. When we are first introduced to Bakugo, he is pure evil. He mocks his class, threatens Midoriya, and then tells Midoriya to kill himself. He is designed in such a way that screams, "I'm going to be the bad guy." He's not a good person, and you definitely shouldn't like him. When I first began watching this series, I hated the character. I just kept thinking to myself, oh my god, what an asshole. Why you keep bringing down my boy Izuku like that? So to see him humbled by Midoriya not once but twice, first with the sludge villain and then in combat training, was just heartwarming. They were great character moments for Midoriya, and Bakugo finally got what was coming to him. It all just felt right, because narratively, it makes sense. It's clear from the beginning, Midoriya is our hero, and every hero needs a conflict, a counter, something to fight against, to face true evil. And what's a better villain for a 15-year-old boy than his childhood bully? Bakugo is portrayed as an egotistical bad guy rather than a rival, because he has to be the antithesis to everything that is Midoriya. It's the simple, good defeats evil. Bakugo bad, Midoriya good. This is why no one initially likes Bakugo, because the story doesn't want you to. It wants you to hate Bakugo, so that when the hero, Midoriya, stands up and fights back, you feel all the more involved and invested in his triumph. It makes scenes like this.
You can call me Deku, but I'm not the same helpless, defenseless kid anymore. You hear me? I've changed! From now on, Deku is the name of a hero!
Extremely satisfying to watch, because it feels far more deserved. So when exactly does Bakugo change? See, that's the thing. He doesn't. Not really. Bakugo remains the same. The only difference is, there's a new conflict. When the League of Villains attack the USJ, suddenly the evil that is Bakugo is being overshadowed by a far greater threat. An absolute true villain arrives, so the need for Bakugo to be the antagonist is no longer there. Think of it this way. Your best friend Dave comes up and squirts lemon in your eye, and you squirm and think, dude, what the hell are you doing? You're the worst! Because in that moment, he is the worst. But then, your friend Terry comes up, pulls out a Glock and fires 2 shots into your abdomen. Bang, bang! Suddenly, Dave ain't so bad. The narrative no longer needs us to hate Bakugo, and thus his true character is revealed. I mean, if we compare the first Bakugo to Bakugo during the USJ, the difference is quite clear. He's not only working alongside a fellow classmate, but he even complements the rest of his class's abilities. A small crack appears in the shell that is this angry boy, and out of this crack shines a small glimmer of likable character. Now you may think, wow, a small crack of likability and he's your favourite character? Oh dear god, no. At this point in the story, Midoriya was still by far my favourite. I just hated Bakugo less. And all throughout Season 2, my opinion never really changed. Throughout the sports festival, if I wasn't supporting Midoriya, I was cheering on Uraraka or Todoroki, other characters who got a lot of focus and character development. Bakugo was an afterthought, and he remained this way until the second last episode of the season, Katsuki Bakugo Origin. There's one moment in this episode that changed my opinion on Bakugo forever. After ripping his muscles apart trying to distract All Might, Bakugo gets smashed into the ground by the number 1 hero, and it seems like the fight is over. But then, this happens.
I'll keep fighting. I'll break myself. Even if there's nothing left of me, I will win the way I want to. I'll destroy myself before I accept defeat at your hands. You got that!
This moment destroyed me. It changed my whole view in the series. It's like my mind opened up and suddenly I could truly see the character for what he really was. He was the underdog. Everything clicked in my brain. Compare him to the likes of Midoriya, who's the successor to the number 1 hero and guaranteed to have a great power, or to Todoroki, who's the son of the number 2 who was handcrafted to surpass the number 1. Bakugo has nothing. There is nothing telling him he is destined to be great. He has no legacy, no mentor, and no one pushing him on. The one and only thing driving Bakugo is himself. He's a nobody kid trying to prove that he can stand with the greats. I rewatched the series after this epiphany, and it was different. Things I originally saw as Bakugo being arrogant and mean were so much more. His announcing that he was going to be number 1 during the sports festival wasn't just arrogance. He was doing exactly what All Might told Midoriya to do. He was standing out from the crowd saying, "I am here." Deep down, Bakugo just wants to be seen as a competitor, someone who isn't looked down on, someone who is worthy. This is why he gets angry when Todoroki declares war on Midoriya and not him, or why when he's an easy pass in the cavalry battle that he so desperately hunts down the person with 1,000,000 points. Because he needs to prove he's not just the kid who got lucky with his quirk. He needs to show that he's more than just another hero. This feeling of trying to prove you're good enough is what Bakugo represents. This is why he seems mean and shows no sympathy or emotion, because he treats people how he himself wants to be treated. This is why when he fights Uraraka, he doesn't hold back. Everyone else would have took pity and knocked her out quickly, but Bakugo refuses to do so. He is the only one who would fight her just like he would fight anyone else, because if the roles were reversed, he would want the same. And as a result, not only was it an intense battle, but both competitors got to give it their all and show off that they were much more powerful than anyone realized. Everyone thought Uraraka was poor and defenseless, but to quote Bakugo, "That girl is not weak." It shows that underneath his harsh demeanor, there is a heart. It might be expressed differently, and he might not show it, but when all is said and done, he was the only person to treat Uraraka as a competitor, as a warrior, and as a hero. Despite what it may seem like in the beginning, Bakugo is not the typical cliched, super talented, mean rival character. He's a character who feels real, with realistic motives. There's no tragic backstory, no evil ancestry, and no one forced him to be the way he is. He does what he does because in his head, he believes it's the right thing to do, and he refuses to let anyone tell him different. This fact is never clearer than when Bakugo gets kidnapped by the villains. It's such a common trope for the rival character to desire power so much that they're willing to sell their souls just to achieve it. Yet, when faced with the offer of more power, the one thing Bakugo prides himself on, he refuses. Bakugo's refusal isn't just subverting expectations to subvert expectations, it is something that has been built up throughout the entire series. Up to this point, Bakugo has watched as Midoriya, someone he sees as a lesser, as the lowest of the low, has not only shown that he is strong, but that he is on his way to surpassing Bakugo. First in the combat trial, then when he made Todoroki use his fire, which is something Bakugo couldn't do, and again after the internships. The thing that keeps Bakugo going is his uncompromising ideals. Time and time again, Bakugo has been bested in some way. Yet, after all of it, he gets back up and keeps going. No matter how hard he gets hit, or how hard he falls, he never gives up. This is the one thing that has been constant for Bakugo since the very beginning of this series. His unrelenting tenacity. Bakugo's way is the only way, so for him to accept the villain's offer would not only go against everything he stands for, but it would be him admitting defeat, and we know damn well Bakugo is never going to accept that. One of the most important qualities of any great hero is their uncompromising ideals. This is why people both in-universe and out-of-universe admire Bakugo, because when all is said and done, you can't help but smile at this man's passion for his craft. But what happens when the foundations you've built your whole life around get pulled out from under you? You get the coolest fight in the anime, that's what! After All Might loses his power, Bakugo realizes the truth about Midoriya's quirk. He realizes that the person he looked up to his whole life, the person he dedicated his existence to imitating, the one and only person that means more to him than anyone else in the entire world, chose not only someone else, but chose Deku. This shatters Bakugo, and for the first time in the series, his shell breaks, and we get to see the true Bakugo. We get to see the scared kid who doesn't think he's good enough. To put everything into context, Bakugo blames himself for All Might losing his powers. All Might chose Midoriya as his successor, and when Bakugo tries to change and be more like Midoriya, he fails the hero license exam. Whoa, wait, what? Think about it. In the second round of the exam, a massive enemy appears and starts attacking people. This is Bakugo's forte. So why wasn't he flying in screaming die like he normally would? Because he was off saving people. Something Midoriya would do. He was affected so much about the incident with All Might that he actually tried to be more like Midoriya, and all it got him was failure. His own ideals led to the ruin of the number one hero, and when he changed them, it led to the ruin of his own career. All Might still won, and Midoriya passed the exam, so the only logical conclusion is he himself is the problem. Everything he did led to one major failure after another, and all of the emotions, all of the hatred, and all of the fear culminates in this moment. This moment is the turning point for a lot of people's feelings about Bakugo. He's not evil. He's just a scared kid trying to prove that he's not a mistake, not an accident, that he's good enough. And for the first time in any form of entertainment ever, I wanted the dickhead rival to win. I wanted him to beat Midoriya so bad I was literally shouting at the screen with tears in my eyes cheering him on. It's something I never thought would happen, but somehow this character had stolen his way into my heart. Seeing this character grow from someone I hated to someone I literally cried for was surreal. This stupid, angry character had such an impact on me, and I couldn't be happier. Watching him not only beat Midoriya but then become his actual rival was just heartwarming. Bakugo may not be the best person, and he may have a long way to go before he becomes a true hero. But if there's one thing you cannot deny about this character, it's that he is a true underdog, with a heart paved with good intentions. This is how Bakugo became my unexpected hero.